You come here to help? Hey, come here to help. Yeah? That's good. Yep. Get ready to get dirty. Because your kids don't like working. Yeah, they're lazy, huh? Yeah. Welcome back, guys. So we got the 8N here again. And this will probably be the final video on it before I sell it. And in this video, we're going to take some time and we're going to fix it up. But probably not for the reason that's the right reason to fix it up. So when I was driving it the other day, I realized that fourth gear really flies, even at idle. And we have an automotive based engine, an old 226 6-cylinder Flathead Ford. We have an old automotive carb on here. So I got the idea of, hey, if it goes that fast idling, how fast will this thing go wide open? Full gear, wide open, big empty stretch of road. And to top it off, where is it? Our governor isn't governing anything. So it should be able to hit whatever rated RPM this thing is. Being it's a tractor or an industrial engine in a tractor, it's probably got an industrial cam. So it probably doesn't breathe all that good, which means it's probably not going to hurt itself. I got faith in it. It seems like it's a pretty tight motor. We're looking over this thing and wondering maybe the guy that had it, that, you know, took it apart or whatever, if he didn't have that rebuilt, because it's pretty tight. But nonetheless, I had one of these. Well, it was a 4-cylinder, but had the Sherman under over deal on it, and I regretted not seeing how fast it would go. So this, I don't know, might be stock running gear, I have no idea, but it feels really quick as far as gearing. It's real tall, or short, yeah, tall. So I'm gonna fix it up, do it right. Like I said, I don't think it'll blow up. I think it'll only hit like 4,000 RPM. But if it can do that in a pickup, why can't it do it in a tractor? So anyway, enough of me babbling. We're going to start over here in the fuel system. Pretty sure that's going to be pretty hot. I'd rather not be a ball of flame going down the road at, I don't know what this thing will go. I'm going to guess 40, 45. Then we're going to fix the front tire. Because yeah, I'll trust them in this shape on a trailer and they will stay together. But when it's a steer tire, it's usually when they don't stay together. I got a vintage looking China tire. Oops, sorry princess. That'll throw a tube in and put on there. The back tires look like they'll hold up. They said like 20 miles an hour, but it's not like we're driving across country with it. We're gonna mess with this. I think it's what they call a load-o-matic distributor. And you hook it up, I think it uses the Venturi vacuum, if I recall right what I was reading. I might hook it up to see what it does, but you know, if this thing's running wide open, in my experience with vacuum gauges is wide open, full load is usually zero vacuum, then that would be the same as having this unplugged, I would think. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I need to do some more reading on it. We'll change the oil in it, charge up the battery, fix some of this wiring. It wasn't running out of fuel last time. It was grounding out on the block. Sorry for the wind, guys. It's Texas in the spring. It's just how it goes. And oh yeah, we'll have to rig up some kind of throttle for it, because right now it currently has, it's hooked up to the governor assembly, and that's not going to do me any good. I did try to find a starter for it. I have a whole pile of starters and none of them fit this. Either they're too small, but they look like they would, you could line it up with the ring gear, or they're just physically bigger than this hole. And I did see one place that sold them, but they want like, I bet with tax and everything, shipping would be over 300. But they listed the spec of the gear was like 40 millimeter by 10 teeth. And when you look up starters that way, it comes up with Cat, Komatsu, Power Stroke. So I don't know. I might just let the next guy mess with that. It did hold water or coolant, whatever you want to call it. So that's a good sign. It means the head gasket's still there. for now. So I was digging around in the barn and I found a Rochester 4-barrel, I believe. Yeah, at least it says Rochester. Oh, Quadrajet? I guess it's a Quadrajet. I don't know. This stuff's before my time. I can tell you vintage diesel, but I can't tell you vintage gas. So pulled this off. It looks like it's flared the right way. It's got a little bit of a twist to it, but I don't care as long as it doesn't leak and I can put my hose over the end. That's all that matters. And maybe it'll donate some of this stuff for a vacuum fitting for the distributor. I don't know. I haven't got there yet, but I would at least like to hook it up, because if it, I don't know what it does. They say like it helps it accelerate, you know, like in a car, keep it from stumbling and stuff. But this is going to be like sled pulling. It's going to go, once it's rolling, it's full throttle, and we're just going to go from there, kind of like a tractor. But let's see if this will work. See if it'll keep me from being a ball of flames. All right, guys, got you all set up. You can see the hackery we got here. Man, that's an engineering marvel. I was right. One size smaller, you'll save on hoses and clamps. And it won't come off, because that was on there pretty tough. And I grabbed the wrong size, apparently. All right. Came back with the appropriate sized wrench. I think that was an 11/16, but I don't feel like walking back and forth. Apparently I didn't tighten that too hard. That's clear. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see, but these two actually butt together, not the other way it was going. Oh, and look. It screws right on. Can we tighten it where it'll point kind of the right way? Yep. Well, it's going together pretty good. Now this time I probably will use hose clamps, maybe. Or if it'll leak. Because it's been sitting there dripping for like, I don't know, whatever day I did this last. I guess that was Tuesday, Monday, I don't know. I don't know what day today is. I think it's Tuesday. But anyway, yeah, it was just dripping right out of here. Get you guys in a little. Nope. There we go, yeah. So it's leaking out of here. Just a constant steady drip. As you can tell, it went all the way down. Just a nasty, nasty mess. Doesn't look too terrible. Much as I want to bend that, I'm not going to get greedy. I'm just going to leave it alone. It can loop down and back around. It'll be fine. Might have to shorten this hose, but we'll see. If it gives us any trouble, we'll shorten it. If not, we'll leave it alone. Oh, there you go, guys. Might have some water in there. But I don't think it's from the tank. I think it's from my can. Someone got water in it. No big deal. There's not a whole lot left in there anyway, so not difficult to drain it. So I guess the next thing I'm going to do, since that went a whole lot easier than I thought, is I'm going to figure out this vacuum deal. This somehow needs to go to here. And that's where the parts off that other carburetor come in, because it'll screw into here or here for vacuum reference, and I can just tee it to this with a piece of hose. Because like I said, it's not like we're going cross country, just trying to make it run a little bit better. So I'm gonna go steal another part off that, I guess that's a Quadrajet, I don't know. And we'll see if we can make it work on this Ford. So I got the original hose routed to it now. I don't know if that's where it even goes. I mean, it seems to be threading kind of in. Not really. Well, maybe. I really don't think that's the right fitting, but if it works, it works. Well, I guess it was because it's tight. Man, this is going together easy. There's that. I honestly don't think this thing will ever get a full restoration. I could be wrong. It'd be cool if it did, but if it runs and drives, someone enjoys it. That's all that matters. I'm enjoying it. I can't tell. They didn't clean it off. I'm gonna guess that leak was there before me. So yeah, we're just knocking this out a lot quicker than I thought. So the next thing I'm gonna do is try to figure out a throttle. I don't know if I'm gonna do like a bike cable or I'm gonna hook it up to. I'm not real sure yet. Cause you're kinda, I mean, I have enough carburetors I can make something work. I just don't know, what to attach it to, because that's supposed to be choke. I do need to attach that. It goes off in there, but you can't, I need something like that somewhere down here to make the pull on this. And then once I get that out of the way, I don't know, I probably need to do it foot style, because I'd like to have, I kind of need both hands up there. And I don't want to just rig it to where, it's wide open throttle going. I want to have some control over it. So I have some ideas. Let me go see what I have, because I'm not going to spend anything on this. I'm trying to do it off of what I have laying around, which you can see is quite a bit. So there's got to be something here that I can steal to make something work. All right, guys, so I think I found something that's going to work for us. Found this, I guess it's not the throttle, but the on and off brake for this mower. And if I remember right, this was going to scrap. So it's no huge loss. And the reason we have a lot of this stuff, if it's debris from auctions, so we'll buy a lot of something, or a barn or a room or something like that, and you got to take the whole contents. So take the contents, keep or get rid of the stuff we wanted, and then this stuff just kind of just accumulates. And it's getting to the time now where we have way too much crap and it's got to go. And this is one of them. As you can see, it's been sitting here, no air cleaner, full of dirt, and we already have two good ones, so we don't need this one. So it'll probably just go to the scrapyard. But gave us a cable, which is what I needed. Need to do some fine tuning on the cable, but if you watch the carburetor, it does work. So what I had to do was, you remember that big bracket we had? I went ahead and cut it down, drilled a hole in it, and put it right here like I'd said, and just kind of bent this deal up to where it fit. And then the lawnmower cable, the end fit perfectly in the throttle, so I didn't have to try to cobble up one of these deals. So that's a win. Next, I'll try to figure out this end, how to hook it to something over here. So here's what I'm thinking. This is another fine auction buy that's probably been here since, I don't know, at least the last decade. It's been here so long it's seized up. But anyway, what I'm thinking of doing is using this as a pedal. So we can, where this screw is, we can attach to the fender. This can be what my foot hits. And then we'll drill a hole in here, and that can be where the cable goes. Now whether or not that's going to work, I don't know, but I'm going to go pull this thing apart. We're going to give it a shot. You never know if you don't try. So I got it off. It took me about 20 seconds. I didn't think it was worth filming. But here's what I'm thinking. So you get a better visual. They can drill in a small hole here, because if a true 8N enthusiast is probably going to put the aftermarket foot throttle on this like they had back in the day that they sold. So we'll save the guy step and put the hole there for him. So what I'm thinking is, like I said earlier, we'll drill a small hole either there or over here somewhere. Place this here, and when you push down, try to get you guys a better visual, it'll pull your cable backwards. And if that's not enough leverage, move our fulcrum point down here, give me some more throw. So I think that'll work. At least it works in my head. If you're thinking, man, this guy's a hack, well, you're right, because we're not spending money on this. We're trying to do a land speed record in an 8N, which I'm not going to beat. But anyway, so I'm going to get to work on that. I might set you guys aside and show you how that works. I don't know yet. I want to say that's good. And I'll show you the setup here in a second. Oh yeah, it's gonna work perfect. So before I put it on, let me show you what we have. So I have it spaced out. So this has a nylon bushing in it. And I just added some washers for extra assurance that it'll move freely. Use these two as spacers because this already has the non-threaded blank part, but it was too long. So I added the nuts as spacers. Got another nut that will go like that. And between this nut and this nut, it should hold this thing. It should keep the resistance the same over here on this. Thinking anyway. There's no guarantees. So that looks like it's working good. We'll just need to get this put up here somehow, some way. Hadn't figured that out yet, but work in progress. I would say I'm a genius with this, sorta, maybe. I don't know, I'm gonna go with I'm a genius. So it turns out my rusted out cable's kind of junk. Not gonna work. But that's okay, because I found this little guy hiding by the scrap pile. But it's not scrap. It actually runs. I think it was like a $5, $10 lawnmower at a farm sale. But we're in a drought, so we don't need to mow. So I think it's gonna volunteer its cable to me for now. The toner won't notice until he goes to use it, I think. Ooh, there we go. But maybe by that time it'll be returned to its owner, to its mower, whatever. How do I get this off of here? Let me put it this way. How do I get this off without breaking it? Like that. And just like that, you have a throttle cable for your 8N. So here's the setup we're left with. It looks about as hacked as it sounds, but I think it'll work. Like I said, if it can take me a couple runs up and down the road, that's all it has to do. I'll get a spring from here to here to help hold it. And then I have a whole box of springs. I'll find something to make a return spring so it'll pop it back up to idle. But for an afternoon's work, I'm gonna say that's not bad. We got the vacuum, we got the fuel, which I need to put a clamp on it. We got the throttle cable. We mutilated 2 lawnmowers and a quadrajet and a bicycle. But I'm optimistic. I think this is gonna work. So I'm gonna have to call it a day. I got other stuff to go do, places to be. But tomorrow we'll tackle the timing. I'll read up on this Load-O-Matic deal. Pretty sure that's what it is. Change the oil in the engine and the gearbox. And I'm gonna figure out what to do about that. I mean, one thing I'm gonna do tonight is go look at an auction, and if there's any of these wheels, I'll go down there tomorrow and try to buy it. And not these, not 8N specific, but that bolt pattern. Well, it's about a day later, 2 days later, finally back. Got everything here, did the oil change on it. The gearbox, transmission, all that looked okay. I'll leave it alone for now. If it got water or anything in it, I'll know it after I get some miles on it, I guess you could say. I figured it'd be appropriate to use something that they would think was like witchcraft or space age back in the day, but normal for us on this old ancient tractor, the composite ratchet. So I figured I'd show you guys what the bottom of this thing looks like. It's a lot different than I thought it was. I thought this whole thing was a pan, but like you just saw, it's not. It uses this, I guess, for reinforcement, and it's pretty thick. Thought that was pretty neat. I thought about it and did a bunch of reading, and I think I'm gonna leave this alone. I'll wait till we get it out there, get it running, see if I can get a timing light on there, because I did find, I don't know if you guys can see, I believe that is the mark for the timing for up there. It looks like it's machined, not a chip or something, so I'm going to assume that's what it is. And what I figured out, dude, what? Real vocal for a deaf kitty. So what I decided to do on this was get this thing up to where we think the RPM would be, and then try to set it top dead center there with this undone. Because from what I read, the more vacuum, the more advance you have. And if we're going to be, you know, just full throttle, no vacuum, full load, then this really wouldn't be in play. So I don't know if that's going to work. That's just a theory I have. We'll try it. If it works, it works. If not, might get the timing light on here and try to time it with that deal. I'm not going to do the oil filter yet. They have to order one. And I figure drain it, put fresh oil in, let it run, and then flush that out, and then we'll do the filter when we do the more fresh oil. But it had oil pressure. I don't know, I think this is a bypass. I might be making a pretty bad mistake, but I had oil pressure before. I should have oil pressure still, even after the fact. So that's all I can think of. I'm gonna get under there, pull that plug off, and see what comes out. Yeah, you can still see. I'm curious what comes out, or how nasty it is. See if we have any coolant or water in the bottom. I don't think we do. It does have some sludge. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's no metal or anything that I can see. Some paint. But otherwise it looks good. Doesn't smell bad. I'm not going to taste it because I don't think that really actually accomplishes anything. Could be wrong, but I'm not going to try it. Doesn't hold a lot of oil. I guess maybe the 4 quarts is correct. The oil seemed kind of thinned out, but it could have been, maybe the carb that was on here was adjusted wrong. It ran too rich. Kind of thinned the oil out or something. So I figured some of the younger people might find this cool. It scares you. Use a scare tactic to add oil to it. It says danger, then safe range, and then full. Amazing how we've gone from scare tactics about adding oil to we won't check the oil and we'll just let it blow up and maybe Kia's warranty will cover it. This is what I added to it. It's pretty well just universal tractor fluid. Have a whole pallet of it. Use it in everything, nothing else is blown up, so this shouldn't either in theory. But yeah, I thought maybe you guys would like to see that. All right, now back to this side. After a lot of trial and error, got it to where it works. It looks pretty third worldish, I guess you could say. But you know, if it works, it works. I literally have nothing in this whole setup. And I'm happy with that. You gotta save money and use it where it's important, and this isn't important. But it's fun. So I think what we're gonna do, because I'm running out of time, is we got the oil changed. We're gonna mess with the timing when we get there. We got the fuel system done. Went ahead, cleaned out the bowl. This didn't look so bad. It just had some water, I guess, from sitting in the bottom of the tank. I drained it all out, put fresh gas in. I even got that to work. The front end feels tight. I'm gonna leave it. I don't want to disturb stuff, start taking stuff apart, open a can of worms. Runs and drives, we're gonna leave it alone. Still looks like I got punched in the face. I might do something about that. She might do something about it. So what I'm gonna do next, I don't know if you guys can see, but put some piece of exhaust. I mean, it's not, obviously not the right size, but you'll see how I fix that. But I want it to come out where I can see the smoke and it not come down and then make a huge cloud of dust and just be annoying. So by pointing out like this, if it does kick out dust, the dust will come out to the right side of it. I don't think it's gonna get in the way of my throttle lawnmower cable. I think this will work fine. So we're just gonna line it up like so. And then we're gonna use this self-tapping screw, roofing screw, whatever you wanna call them. Now we're just gonna stick it in there and tighten her down, and we'll have an exhaust. Decided I didn't like that Flathead Ford, so I bought a few engines to swap. We got a 5.7 Hemi, a big block Chevy, and a couple Duramax engines. Which, if you're a Duramax fan, I don't know what to say, because these things are terrible to work on inside of a truck. And now that they're sitting outside of a truck, they just don't look much better. That's big old cat converter, DOC on the back of that turbo. Good old government. But yeah, totally unrelated, but since I'm here, not something, and I work on this stuff every day, but these are ones I will not work on. Just the complexity, the toll it takes on your health because of the complexity. I got a friend that does love working on them, but no, I'm not. Not me, not at all. Okay, now that we're back from our little field trip, let's make bets on whether I break this screw off into the exhaust pipe where it goes like it's supposed to. Or the other option, it doesn't fit in there. Oh, I didn't account for that. Looks like I'm off in search of a 3/8. All right, guys, there we go. The way they used to do it in the old days. No power tools, no nothing like that. Just a ratchet in a socket like when it was new. There you go. Looks pretty solid. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Probably have to tighten it back down when it burns the rubber out of it. But that'll keep the exhaust, you know, like I said, from going down, making a cloud of cloud of dust. I think it'll work good. Looks like it's far enough away from my throttle cable, so I don't think it's going to melt it. Got ample room for the tire, I hope. I think we'll be good. So next up, I'm going to show you something that's kind of cool. Something I just thought of when I was walking back and forth. Alright guys, I figured you guys might want to see what this tractor was originally when it's in a regular 8N form. So what we have here is a TO20 Ferguson. I know it's not an 8N, but if you go back and look at the history books, this tractor was built off the same blueprints as this tractor. But in my opinion, this one's better built because I think these cost more. They put better engine in them. Just little things here and there that to me make them better. I don't like everything on it. There's some stuff I wish it had like this has, but it is what it is. And it's not good practice to leave your loader up like that, but I did that so you could see the tractor better. So that 8N would have had a 4-cylinder and about similar size. This is just a Continental, I think a Z120 or something like that. I believe it's overhead valve. But as you can see, the 8N was kind of sort of cramped like that. Versus this Funk conversion has all the space in the world. They use almost the same wheels. Looks like they use the same hubs. Front axles are kind of the same. The hoods look almost identical. And I think a lot of this stuff was built off the same stamping machines, but don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I read up on them. So yeah, you can see the hood, like where it mounts here to the dash, it's just kind of flat against the dash. Where here, they put the extra panel on to accommodate for the extra length. You see like the radius arms are longer versus this one. And the drag link, I guess if you want to call it that, hooks straight to the box. Where on this one, it's got like an extension done to it. Battery box is relocated. I mean, like I said, they're pretty much identical. I may take these weights off and put them on the other tractor just for safety. But you can see how the fenders, they look almost the same. Only these don't say Ford, aren't stamped in it. I don't know how much interchanges. The differentials look pretty well the same. The rear wheels, I mean, they're almost a copy, but if this had been just a factory 4-cylinder, it would have looked almost like this. But yeah, I figured maybe someone would kind of get a kick out of that. So the fenders on that sit taller because of the weights, but they use the same size tires. The dashes are similar, not the same. This one just has a standard 3-speed. That one's got a 4-speed with a weird pattern. This one actually has a place where you can check your hydraulic pressure and everything in it. Where that one doesn't. You have to actually pull off this whole cover to figure out what's going on. I mean, they pretty well are the exact same tractor. But I just wanted to show you guys. This one's short and stubby. This one's long and tall. Not every day you get to see what it started out as versus what someone turned it into. So before we start this endeavor, I just wanted to show you guys what it's supposed to sound like at full throttle. So yeah, it's a 4-cylinder one, but 1800 RPM is 1800 RPM. So that's full throttle, and that's what our little 6-cylinder buddy over here is supposed to sound like. So yeah, just for reference, full throttle with the governor versus whatever that thing's gonna spin tomorrow. Alright, unhook me. Alright, here we go. See what we can get out of it. I think it's gonna work better. Oh yeah, he's deaf. He can't hear on a good day. Oh yeah, it runs so much better. Can't find him, grind him. Oh, there we go. Well, they run better when they got good clean fuel going to them. guy going. Hold that one. Okay. Start again. Go straight to fourth. Like, hurry up, dude. Oh, that's cool. It rolls coal like a diesel. Let's see. Let's give it. That's all we got out of her. There we go. It gets a little squirrely at speed. See if we can... I don't know, you guys can see the speedometer or what you can see. Holy shit. Yeah. Alright, good place to turn around right here. Nobody's coming. Boy, fourth is really tall. I think it's still running out of fuel. If I wasn't out here trying this, there'd be no one coming. Sounds angry. Good way to die. Alright guys, so we know it'll do 28.2. Figure out why it's breaking up if I do a drive-by of it. She don't stop very well. A little rich. Oh, no wonder. 30. Think he's got a belt? So we're getting towed back. They locked that buddy up. And we're missing a belt. And yeah, I wish I'd been filming when it came apart. That's alright, we'll see if we can find one. So in case anyone's wondering, that's the speed we hit. And no, it wasn't while I was being towed. Did that all on its own, and yeah, I probably should have replaced the belts and stuff, but that didn't happen. We also got that issue. That's always good. But all in all, fun experience. I don't know if this is going to be the end of the video or if we're going to try for one more. There we go, we're running. Hey. Camera. It's recording, don't push buttons. That was fun. Well guys, that was exciting. I'll give you guys kind of more of a rundown on this thing now that the excitement's died down and we broke it, sorta. Tell you about the tank and then the rest of the stuff. Sure goes a lot better when it's got some V8 power towing it. A lot smoother ride too, not gonna lie. Oh, I guess we're going this way. This is what it's like when you had horse and carriage. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as we did. We had a blast. This was the most fun I've ever had in a long time. The most fun I've ever had with a tractor. So, while we were having fun in the excitement, reason for this setup, and I guess when I said NAS tractor in the last video, kind of foreshadowing, kind of like a NASCAR, we got Ford, we got Miller, we got Caterpillar. They're all sponsoring this apparently, they don't know it. Anyway, the factory deal wasn't flowing enough for this carburetor. So my buddy had this laying around, just ran some fuel line, a little bit more gravity, gave it a little bit more pressure, and that solved our running out of fuel under load issue. And that worked for a while, and then we had too much fuel all the time, but that's okay. Found a vacuum leak or something over there. That carb is just something that was literally laying on the shop floor. It came out of the scrap pile. In fact, it ran at all surprising. This poor girl's pretty well started hemorrhaging every fluid it has at some point in this episode. Oil, the coolant, the gas. The poor governor, I guess, didn't like whatever 1157 RPM 100, and it locked up the, I wouldn't say it locked up, it's got issues. Sometimes it locks up, sometimes it spins. I lost the fan belt, but you know, how else to be expected. It got so hot it turned this thing black. Did all that without a starter. My hillbilly homebrew throttle setup stayed together. Tires did okay. Brakes worked great. My ancient tires held up surprisingly. I was expecting them to come apart before the belts. So it did 28.6 was the max I got out of this, and it would start floating the valves. You'd hear it flutter, and that's the only thing I can think of unless it was running out of fuel. I was going to do the 2-to-1 barrel carb adapter, but I don't know, I didn't get to it. So I'm trying to think of anything else. When you get up there, it acted real floaty and real weird. It was going like this, going down the road. Always had oil pressure, it never ran hot. I haven't seen how the head mount worked, what you guys see. You might get vertigo, seasick, whatever. Good luck, because it was pretty bad on the tractor. But yeah, it survived. I was expecting a hole in the block, but no, it didn't do anything. It took it like a champ. I really think that might be rebuilt. Yeah, you see it smoking and stuff, but if the valves were stuck, I'm sure it has a little bit of ring stickage in it, but you run it, they clear up. At least it's been that in my experience. So yep, there's that. We're gonna take all this stuff off it and head home. Call it a night. We're out in the middle of nowhere, so it was perfect to do this. Big shout out to my friend for letting us use his place, and probably willing to take me to the hospital if I derailed this thing. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.